Hey, my name is Marco. I'm a former pro opera singer turned voice actor. Today we're going to be listening to Dancer of the Boreal Valley from Dark Souls 3. A lot of this music, because I'm so focused on staying alive, I don't necessarily listen to it. It's kind of in one ear and out the other because I'm just trying to run, dodge, whatever. Dancer of the Boreal Valley is one of those that I actually do remember from my playthroughs of Dark Souls 3. I think because it's so drastically different from a lot of the rest of the soundtrack, there's something about this fight in particular and the way that this enemy moves and dances. It's so flowy and violently beautiful that I distinctly remember this. So I'm very excited to listen to this with you, and let's just dive right in, shall we? So right off the bat, some things that are really interesting, even in the first 11 seconds. Ha, he. Simple choral singing. It's very ethereal and very heightened, and it's very, you already hear this sort of air of mystery, and there's a lot of space in there too, in the rest between the two vowels, and it already gives you quality of this like sort of celestial sound. Do you hear how da, and then the strings take over? Da, da, da. We're beginning the slow development of a melody. I don't even want to call this a melody because in some ways this is more we're developing an atmosphere here. We have to start with the sopranos and the women's female singers, and then we're going to shift into this singular violin and orchestral sound. And it's just so curious how it sort of piggybacks off of itself. Do you hear that? And this time. And you hear that? It's languishing. There's a pain in this. It's like, Then we have that crunch because we are in a dangerous situation. It's unexpected because every single time that we've heard this chorus plus this orchestra, we have been expanding on the original melody, which was just two notes. There's this growth of the instrumentation, and all of that is slowly building this tension and this fear. And again, we're fighting a character that's flowing through the air, and its attacks are very, very, they're like water, or like wind, and we really feel that in this music. Also, that cymbal sound, that to me is the wind of the Boreal, the Boreal Valley. There's this so much dissonance. And it's funny because we have the strings that are playing parallel to each other, but they're not playing notes like a third or a fifth. They're playing like seconds and sixths. And so there's this clash that's happening, and it's all to make us uneasy. Per usual, that's what these Dark Souls songs are intended for. There's that just like tension. In Peter Grimes' aria, there's a foghorn in the distance. And here it goes, boo. Oh, he's going mad. And that same effect happens here. You see, we don't get a melody ever, but what we do get is this forward momentum now. It feels like I think that's 1, 1, 1, or even 3. I don't actually know. I did conducting when I was an undergrad, and let me just tell you, it's not very good. But you feel this like very big beat and big beat and that's the most we get as far as forward momentum, and as much as a melody we really get. There's almost a bit of cacophony here. It's a big word, which means very busy. When you think about the character with these big swings that it does, with the twin sabers, you really hear that in this sort of big beat pull. Isn't that astounding? And it's just like, it's just so otherworldly and complex and twisty and And then too, the trumpet. Da, 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 da. It would seem like it would go da, 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 da. But instead it does this weird twist, like half step, crunch, and then we go up. Again, this is all part of this dance. Da, 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 da. It's so, it feels like a dance. It doesn't feel like a waltz like, say, in Ludwig. It feels more like wind and rain. It slithers and it glides and it meanders. It doesn't allow us to grab hold. It doesn't give us any sort of anchoring. And that's because the character and the enemy that we're fighting doesn't allow us to have any anchoring in the game. I'll never forget this scene. You walk into there's those stairs, and on the one end you've got one boss, and on the other end you have another. You go up to the altar, I think, and you grab the thing, and then all of a sudden it like sort of drops down kind of like a spider, if I'm remembering correctly. The Boreal Valley is a valley of cold and ice and storms and wind, and you really get that sense, not too differently from the other Boreal Valley song that's been on the channel from Genshin Impact. There's that same kind of flowing, which is really, really interesting, actually. Thank you, as always, to the Patreon subscribers, to the Patreon support. I really appreciate it. If you want to check that out, feel free to look at the links in the bio, but never a requirement, of course. If you want to join the Discord, feel free. And as always, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later, okay? See ya.